Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lindsay, and go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video about basic training. If some of you guys are new here, I'm in the Army National Guard. I've been in for about 5 years now, and I know a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what's the National Guard? What is it about? What do you do? Is it the same as the regular Army? No, I'm not a recruiter. I don't have the answer to every single question, but I can answer different questions, like popular questions that a lot of people ask me all the time because of me going to basic training and AIT and being in for 5 years. I know a few questions and I could probably answer. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some questions, some popular questions that people ask before they go to basic training and stuff like that, what to expect, all that jazz. So just keep watching. Okay, so the first popular question is, how long was basic training? The basic training is normally 9 weeks. It's separated in 3 different parts. It's all together, but it's like different phases. So the first 3 weeks is red phase. It's like the introduction to basic training, and you learn some of the simple stuff. I wouldn't say simple, but some of the little things is what you do the first 3 weeks of training. Then you have the blue phase of the next 3 weeks, and then you have the white phase for the remainder of the 3 weeks. So it's 9 weeks total. When I went, I was there for 10 weeks, but I'll get into that later. How long can a soldier be in reception? I don't know if there's a limit. I know of people who've been in there for at least a month. When I went, they were telling me they were there for over a month, but it was because they were having medical issues and stuff like that. But when I went, I was in there for a week. Not even a week. I was only in there for a couple of days. Yeah, I was there for a little bit less than a week. I think I got there like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then they put us on a bus and we went a little bit further down the road and started basic training on a Saturday. And for those of you who don't know what reception is, you go and you do a bunch of paperwork, as if you haven't already done enough paperwork. You get your last medical done, make sure everything is good to go. You get all of your uniforms issued to you. You do a bunch of the introduction to the Army stuff at reception. How often are basic training soldiers allowed to call home? Okay, so this is different all around. I've been told by people who's at my unit that they got to call home every Sunday. I got told that some people were able to have their cell phones the whole entire weekend on the weekends. I got told a bunch of different stuff, but for me and my company, our first sergeant and captain was a little bit more strict than that. I only got 2 phone calls home the whole entire 9 weeks of being there. The one was kind of hidden, like not everybody got to do it. Our drill sergeant let us. We were getting rewarded or something. So we got to call home on Mother's Day, and it was literally for like 2 minutes. We had to use the payphones that were there. We had to use the cards that we bought from the PX that had to use minutes for the payphone. And by the time that the charges went through and all that stuff, we were able to have a 5-minute phone call, but by the time we were done filling out all the information and typing in the number to a card and everything, I only had 2 minutes, but I was still thankful. So we had the 1 phone call on Mother's Day, and then the other one we had when the whole company got it. I think it was like 2 weeks after that. So I really only had 2 phone calls. Of course, at the end, when you've passed everything of basic training and it's just like the last few days of cleanup and stuff like that, they'll let you call home, make sure that your family's traveling information and whatever that they need to know about, make sure that your family knows all about it. That way they can easily show up at graduation and make sure that they have everything taken care of. What can I send my soldier as a care package of basic training? I wouldn't send them anything just to be safe. I've heard so many bad things or I even saw it. Some of the soldiers in my company got sent candy. Like, are you kidding me? No. We are not allowed to have candy. When we had MREs, when we were eating MREs, they made sure that we put the candy in the MREs in a big box and gave it to the drill sergeants, because we were not allowed to have candy. So don't send your soldiers candy or baked goods or anything. You can send them pictures, you can send them a normal letter, whether you wrote it, you typed it, anything like that. When you do send them pictures, make sure it's nothing inappropriate, obviously. You can send them like religious stuff, like a Bible, or if you're if you have like a rosary or anything like that, that would be fine. I ran out of this certain body wash that I like, so my parents sent me the unscented. Make sure it's unscented. They sent me more body wash, but you can send them anything like that, like if it's lotion or body wash or shampoo or conditioner, you can send them that, but make sure it's unscented. And chances are the drill sergeant will smell it, so like I said, make sure it's unscented. May my soldier attend religious services? Yes, every Sunday is our rest day, even though it wasn't a rest day for us. You wake up, you don't have to do PT that day, which is physical training for those of you who don't know. You wake up and you have formation, you go get breakfast, do the normal, and then when you come back, you hang out in the barracks until they have all kinds of church services. At least I went to Fort Jackson, so they had a bunch of different church services, but in different times, so you have a lot to choose from, but yes, you can go to church services. And then when you're done, you pretty much have the rest of the day to do whatever, do your laundry, clean up, just hang out in the barracks. But they do not let you sleep. At least our drill sergeants did not let us sleep. Which, of course, like, some of us snuck it, like, people would be watching out for each other, but we weren't technically allowed to sleep. Will the drill sergeants hit my soldier? No. I mean, I don't know how it is with anywhere else, but I've always been told and know that it's not allowed. They can smoke your soldier, they can make them do however many push-ups and sit-ups and whatever you can possibly think of. They can smoke your soldier like crazy. That's what they call it, smoking, by like making them do a lot of exercises to correct them if they did something wrong. But no, they're not allowed to put their hands on you. They do, however, will get in your face and they will yell at you extremely loud, so be prepared for that. But I mean, it's the Army, like what else do you expect? What is family day and graduation day like? Okay, so what day was it? Wednesday was our family day, because we have family day and then we have graduation day. So Wednesday was our family day. What they did with family day for us was really cool. They released us on the graduation field at Fort Jackson, but they had us hiding in the woods until we were released to our family. So we were like in the wood line, completely back there. They didn't know we were back there. And then they had the whole introduction and music and stuff like that. And then our drill sergeants went out there and like threw the smoke cans that they have, different colors like purple, yellow, red, green, all kinds. And so the smoke filled in front of the wood line to where you couldn't see the wood line anymore. And then once the music cued, they had us run out. And then when we ran out, we were running across the field like towards the bleachers where our family was. I'm getting goosebumps and chills just thinking about this. But they have us run to the bleachers, like towards the bleachers, and then we all end up in formation. We already have we already practiced this, so we already had like our formation and where we were going to stand and stuff like that. So you end up in formation, standing at attention, they introduce you, congratulate you and everything, and then they release you to your family. So your family has to go out of the bleachers and come to you. And of course, when that happened with me, such a surreal moment, because I mean, you went like 10, 11 weeks without seeing your family. So, but yeah, your family will come to you, and then you have to stay on the post. You can't go off post. So, I mean, there's different things you can do. Fort Jackson there's not a whole lot to do on a military base. They have a bowling alley. They have the big PX store that you can go to. A PX is like a general store. They have a bunch of different things there. It's kind of like a mini mall. But you can do that. There's places that you can go eat. You can walk your family around and let them see your company. You can go to our company, let them come in the barracks. Well, not actually in the barracks, but like our building. That way they could see where we were training at, and you can go look at different training stuff. But there's a lot of things you can do on family day. And then the next day was graduation day. We had to wear our Class A's that day. And basically you're all lined up and you march in formation, and they do like the national anthem. We yelled the Soldier's Creed, all that jazz, and then after graduation they release you. I don't know if this is for everybody, but with our company and our battalion, we had the option that we could have our families drive us to where our AIT was going to be, or they would buy you a plane ticket and fly you there, or they would bus you there depending on where your AIT was and how far away it was. I, of course, because I was at Fort Jackson for basic training. I was going to Fort Lee, Virginia. Fort Jackson is in South Carolina. Fort Lee is in Virginia. So I was going from Fort Jackson to Fort Lee, and it's not that far, so I had my parents drive me. So my mom, my dad, my grandma, my sister, and my boyfriend came up, and they are the ones that drove me to AIT. Now when you get there, you usually have to report at your AIT by Saturday morning at a certain time. But when I got there, I was told I could do this and see if they would let me, and thankfully I was. Got there Friday afternoon, and they let you can ask for like a weekend pass because you're technically haven't started AIT yet. So I had a weekend pass to where I was off Saturday, and I didn't have to be back on the base or anything until Sunday night at like 1800, which is 6 o'clock at night. So I was really lucky with that. But it depends. Like I said, it's all military bases are different, all battalions are different. It really just depends on where you went and what they let you, but that's what they let me do. Okay, so a lot of people always ask me, what's the Army National Guard? How is it different from the Army and all that jazz? Army National Guard, it's 1 weekend a month and 2 to 3 weeks out of the year. So 1 weekend a month, which is usually Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on what you're having to do with training. But you go to your unit and do whatever you have to do there. The 2 to 3 weeks is normally like field training, or you go relearn your MOS to stay up to date with it. But that's how the National Guard works. Regular Army, it's pretty much an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday job. Of course, it's not really 8 to 5. Like I said, everybody's different. All battalions and military bases and everything like that's different, but it's kind of more like an 8 to 5 job. I chose to be in the National Guard because I really don't want to do the Army full time. My ultimate goal is to be a crime scene tech. So with the National Guard, you can have a normal civilian job and have an Army job too, which is exactly what I wanted to do. What are some of the cool things that you get to do at basic training? Okay, so there's literally like something that you can do every day, but there's Victory Tower, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Victory Tower. There's Victory Tower, which is a big obstacle course where like you'll have to swing from a rope over to a certain point on the ground. You'll have to use the rope to go up a really steep like wood building, not like a wood building, but like a course or whatever. Use the rope to go up it. Victory Tower, like the top part of it, you have to climb up a rope a certain way, climb up a ladder that's like really thin. There's one part where you're like walking over a rope, or you're hanging from the rope upside down and you're having to work your way to the other side. Of course I have a net underneath you in case you fall. But the coolest thing, and the one thing that most people get scared of, is when you rappel off of the building. So it's like 70 feet high, but it was so much fun for me. And you're normally like the drill sergeants are yelling at you the whole entire time during this whole entire thing. So it's nothing like you can take your time. You have to do it as fast as you can. They do show you how to do it and what to do before, so don't freak out about that. You don't have to figure it out yourself. But it's like the building is like 70 foot tall, and you have a big rope, and they hook you up to all the stuff. That way you don't fall and bust your head open, and you just rappel off the building. And I thought it was really fun, and I did it well. Like I did pretty good at it. A lot of people freak out or are afraid of heights or think they're gonna fall, but it was actually really fun. You're at the range a lot. Not a lot, but like you go, like a whole entire week I think is dedicated to qualifying with your M16. You go on the range and you have to zero your weapon, and they teach you that, and then you have to qualify. So you have the targets that pop up. It's like 40 targets that pop up, 3 different periods of it. The first one is like 20 targets, the next one is 10, the next one is 10. You have the ones where you're laying down and you have your sandbags that help hold your weapon up, and then the next one is you have to do it without having the sandbags, and then the next one is when you're kneeling. But you have to qualify with your weapon. And then some companies, I'm not sure if it's with everybody, but with mine, the people who were like the top qualifiers and who got the most targets shot down got to upgrade their weapon to an M4. So of course, because I'm pretty good at shooting my weapon, I got to have the M4. So I carried the M4 around the whole entire time, but it's similar to the M16. There's a few different things, but I got to carry around the M4. They have a day where you go and shoot machine guns and grenade launchers and stuff like that. Excuse me. One of the coolest things that I really liked doing was throwing the grenades. So that's going to be it for the questions today. If you have any more questions, or if you're in the Army or the military in general and you have questions, go ahead and put them down below. I'd love to make another video of like a question and answer with questions from you guys. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for those of you who are going to basic training or are even thinking about it. But until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
But if you close your eyes